Hello, it's Charles Fockaert, February 10th, 2018. I welcome all of you. Thank you for the support, your support of this channel. This video is on a portion, a little part of my book, Deadbeat Dad, that I'm going to read out of. And the reason I'm going to do this is because I've been encouraged to do so by the lady who's putting on a class downtown here on how to get your book published. And I've been to 2 classes already. The first class I went to, turns out I'm the only one that's already had a book published. And they asked me to read out of my book if I wanted to read out of the book. And I said, no, I'm not much of a self-promoter. And so another lady volunteered to read the portion of the book, the very first page, which I recommended. I didn't want to read that first page because I was afraid I was going to get too emotional, and men aren't supposed to get emotional. And I wish now I had read that. But the lady read the first page, the first part of the book, and that's where you need to get the attention of your reader right at the get-go. And so she read it to the class, and the response was very positive. They said, boy, Charles, you did a very good job of drawing us into your story, and you know, that's a very good way to begin your book. So they've encouraged me to read out of my book. They found out I had a YouTube channel. I was saying I'm thinking about reading portions of my book on my channel, and they encouraged me to do that. So that's why I'm here right now with you. Now, as I've mentioned in previous videos, my book has been removed from the Lulu website and the Amazon website. So my book is very controversial to certain people, and they've taken steps to get my book removed from, like I say, Lulu and Amazon.com, but that's not going to stop me. So I'm going to read out of it, and we're going to start with an incident that happened with me and the nanny. I had left the house on a voluntary basis, a big mistake, but I didn't know any better then. Men never, ever, 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 ever leave your house and let the wife have it no matter what. You stay in the house. That's your house. You stay in the house. If she wants a divorce, let her get out. Don't leave the house. But that's another soapbox for another day. This incident happened on Memorial Day weekend. My ex had told me, my wife at that time, but now my ex had told me there was a problem with the washer and the dryer, and would I be so kind as to come over and fix it. I'm no longer in the house, but now she has a honeydew for me. So I want to keep the peace. I'm hoping that we can put the marriage back together again at this time. So I go over there 1:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, and I go to the front door, and I notice the alarm is on green, the little light, meaning the alarm is not on. So I'm gonna go into the house and look and see if I can't fix what needs to be fixed. Oh, just to make it clear, my wife and my 2 younger children were going to be in the Bay Area visiting her family members. That's the background, and let's have a read, shall we? It was an eerie feeling to walk into my own house like I shouldn't be there. I was technically breaking the restraining order by being in the house. I didn't care anymore. I walked into the kitchen. The kitchen light was on. There was a cardboard pizza box spread open on the counter with leftover pizza slices here and there. Next to the pizza box were 2 empty quart Budweiser bottles. The sink had unclean dishes in it, and the door to the dishwasher was flung open, and a couple of the wire drawers were pulled out as if someone was loading the dishwasher and stopped before they were done. The rest of the kitchen counter was a mess of clutter, with dishes, glasses, and various articles scattered about. I had forgotten Miss Kathy might be in the house. I went out of the kitchen through the washroom into the hallway that led to the guest bedroom, the bedroom Miss Kathy slept in. Her bedroom door was wide open. The overhead ceiling light was on. Miss Kathy looked like she had passed out on the bed. She was wearing a light cotton full-length nightgown. She was sprawled out on her back on top of the covers, sound asleep. Although she wasn't snoring, her breathing was heavy and her mouth gapping. I took in that unappealing scene for a few seconds, then went into the hall bathroom, the one Miss Kathy used. The light was on. Various articles of clothing, including her panties and bra, were scattered about the floor. I thought to myself, I can't stay in my own house anymore, and here is this bitch living here making a mess of the place. Who knows who all was here last night, and she's still drinking. See, she had said she quit drinking. So remember, she's taking care of my two younger children when my wife is out of town or out of the house, and she's had said that she was no longer drinking, and obviously that's not the case. This was still my house, and I didn't like what I saw. I took her bra and hung it on the bar light above the mirror to let her know I had been there. I turned off the bathroom light and went back to look at the mess in her room and turned off that light too. I was still paying the bills. I went back outside and shut the door behind me. I had made it very plain, either Kathy or me. Kathy knew I wanted her gone. Just by being in our house, she was interfering with our marriage. Miss Kathy would go in and out of my bedroom like she owned the place. No place was private. This was a bone of contention between my wife and I. I wanted some privacy in my life. She didn't see it that way. It just didn't seem normal for a woman with two young children to choose to have her husband and their father leave for no good reason after over 20 years of marriage, and this woman stay. I'm not going to read what happens in between here, but her mother shows up as I was leaving, and we have a discussion. And so I determined that I was going to come back the next day and do the work on the house. And I didn't want to be in the house while this woman was passed out in the bedroom. So I left, and we're going to pick it up when I come back the next day, which was Sunday, and we're going to pick it up at that point. I stepped up to the front porch. The note was addressed to Barbara, my secretary. It read, Barbara, I changed the alarm code. If you need to get into the house, call me and I'll give you the new code. Kathy. At this point, I was still maintaining my cool. All I wanted to do was get some work done on the house and maybe have a talk with Miss Kathy. I rang the bell. I waited. I could hear someone inside the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I rang the bell again. Still no answer. Many thoughts were running through my mind. The little bitch is in my house and won't come to the door. She's changed the alarm code. I couldn't get into my own house. I came here today from Fortuna to get some work done. I was being prevented from getting into my own house from a little bitch who should have packed up her bags months ago and moved on. And what the hell is she doing telling my young daughter that she's her new daddy? Yes, Doug's right. It's time for her to go. I knocked again and said through the door, Kathy, I know you're there. Open the door. I have some work to do. No answer. I found that very strange. I was in the house yesterday. If I wanted to do any harm to Kathy, I could have done it then. I had never threatened Kathy in any way. I had given her no reason to fear me. I didn't have a history of violence. But here she was afraid to open the door to the owner of the house. She had obviously talked to my wife since yesterday. This was a result of their collaboration. Now I was pissed. At least this was something I could do something about. Having built the house and installed the wiring for the entire alarm system, I knew there was one window that was not wired to the alarm. It was my oldest daughter's second floor bedroom window. Nobody knew that but me. When it was obvious Kathy wasn't going to open up, I wasted no time. I started up my truck and drove it the several feet down the driveway to park just under the overhang below my daughter's second floor bedroom window. I was in luck as the window was cracked open a few inches. I climbed on the back of my truck, stepped on the top of my toolbox, then stepped off the lumber rack onto the shake roof overhang. Adrenaline was pumping through me now. I was very determined to finally get something accomplished. I pulled off the window screen and climbed in the window. There were two lockable doors between me and where Kathy was downstairs. If they would have been locked, I'm not sure what I would have done. I don't think I would have broken them in, but then again, maybe I would. I was pretty pissed. They weren't locked. And I made my way down the long upstairs hallway toward the staircase leading to the first floor. I had a mental flash of the movie The Shining. Come out, wherever you are. The entire scene had an eerie feeling to it. The hallway seemed longer, the house emptier and quieter than usual. My children weren't around for one reason, but it was something else. It was as if the spirit of the house had been replaced by a different spirit since I was no longer living there. An evil spirit, the same evil spirit that had ruined our marriage and broken up our family. I had spent many hours planning and building this house. I was glad to be able to give my children a nice big home. Now it seemed like all of that was disappearing and being replaced by an evil, eerie presence. I knew it wasn't Kathy's fault that our marriage was failing, but sensed that these next few minutes could get nasty. I purposely slowed myself down and didn't want any trouble. I just wanted Kathy out of my house and away from my children. And I'm going to stop there, folks. That'll give you a little bit of an idea of I go on in this story to be accused of assault and battery, and all I did was put my two fingers on Kathy's blouse and ask her to put the code for the alarm in so that I could leave through my front door of my house. And if you're interested in the story, I would suggest you can purchase the book. The link is below this video, and that is one way, coincidentally, that you can support this channel. Women are accusing men. I'm here to tell you that women falsely accuse men all the time, and this book is replete. There's other incidents in here where I was falsely accused, and I was falsely accused when I came back to Montana by a young lady, and I ended up going all the way to the Montana Supreme Court on that one, folks. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel, and may the grace of God be with us all, both Caucasian men and women, because we're under attack, and the women don't get it. The women don't understand that by their men being attacked, it's undermining, it's destroying their last line of defense against our enemy, the Esau Edomites. So may the grace of God, our Father, the Father of the Caucasian race, may His grace be upon us all, for we most certainly need it. See you.